Welcome to Share Your Message TV show. And I'm your host, Tonya Hofmann. I'm so excited today to bring you one of my favoriteest ever guests, Ms. Rosemarie Barnes. Hey, Rosemarie, how are you?
Hey, Tonya, really nice to see you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. So I know that you are like a super duper expert in reinvention and confidence building and taking those big steps. What is it about, especially that reinvention part? I mean, look at my show today. I'm reinventing the title and how I'm doing it. We're always revamping ourselves, right?
It is. It's the same as lifelong learning. If you stop learning, it doesn't work for me. If I stop learning, I start dying. So the thing is with reinvention now, it's a necessity. It's not an option anymore. In years gone by, security was the thing, and keep it the same, and don't mess with the system if it works, and all those kinds of wonderful things that worked terribly well then. But what got us there isn't going to get us here, and it's certainly not going to get us farther. The thing about reinvention today, whether it's personal, whether it's your career, or whether it's your business, is that we no longer have the choice. If we want to stay current today, we have to not only accept that reinvention is necessary, but we actually have to look for ways. We have to actively seek ways to be better, to continue to grow, to find newer, better ways to serve our clients and customers. It's no longer an option.
Yeah, I know. I see a lot of people, they have this idea a lot of times, especially going from like corporate to an entrepreneur, which is like a huge reinvention of yourself, but they're still wanting to kind of do what they've always done instead of really looking at all the different things that are going to be fun for them. It doesn't have to be laborious, right? But it's still challenging because it's something new.
It's really interesting how even if we dislike our situation, even if we know there are things about it that we say, we give lip service to, we'd change it, we like our comfort zone. And better the devil you know is the old saying. We don't, you see, now, if you sit still for just a few minutes, you're going to miss that next boat. The problem is that it takes a tremendous amount of confidence in yourself to be able to accept that what you've done for the past few years is no longer appropriate. We, especially entrepreneurs, and now I can't say that, but entrepreneurs as an example, are our companies, our work is our baby. And we don't want to change what we've created. We fell in love with our idea. We rely on our talents to keep us going in the direction that we first chose. But if that's not what's necessary, imagine today still relying on fax machines.
Right.
Well, and to be fair, a lot of work in the financial world is still done via fax. They'll catch up eventually. But what is the purpose of remaining loyal to the fax machine when the rest of the world has gone on without it? It doesn't matter how much you like it, but the trick is, are you confident enough to be able to go and say, okay, that's done, let's go for the new one? I'm putting up my new academy. I'm recording programs and I'm going to do online training. I have to learn all about the platforms then. It's not like I can just sit here and talk. It's a totally different thing. And technologically speaking, I'm a troglodyte. I know from nothing, but that's not going to get me anywhere. I have to continue to learn and change and reinvent the way I think I can supply information.
Yeah, I love
We
that.
we can't just sit back and hope that what we've done for years will continue to serve us. It won't.
I know boy, it's been a while back. I did a lot of talking for job fairs and job clubs. And I was like, oh, I really want to help these people. They need to learn how to network and, learn how to use social media. And there was this one guy, there's always one guy, right? That would sit there with his arms
Yeah.
crossed. And it was everything that I suggested. He had a reason why it wasn't going to work. And why it
Yes.
couldn't work for him,
Yes.
right? And then finally, I couldn't handle it anymore. I said, okay, why were you let go? And he's like, oh, this 25-year-old came in and took my job and, because half the pay. I'm like, so you had a entry level position now. No matter what your title said, someone who is 25 could come in and do the job. Maybe not as well as you, but he could do the job. So
That's right.
you didn't continue to reinvent yourself and grow and learn. And he shut up really quick then, right?
Yes. And people become angry when you question them. I know in my family, I'm the black sheep. My family, my parents my father's turning 90 at the end of this month. So the computer to my father is nothing but an invasion of privacy. And what does his huffing and puffing about Big Brother watching him via the computer or gasp, the newfangled, my parents still have a rotary phone.
Oh, no.
They do. They do. My grandchildren go over there and say, Grandma, what is that? That's a telephone. But what has my father's huffing and puffing about the old ways are the best ways, what has that done for him except leave him behind? We can stand here and go, I'm not changing. Is that going to benefit you? The trick is that when decisions to change come down, I call it the TLC principle. And I don't mean tender loving care. I mean that for every change, for every reinvention, for everything new that you need to consider, we can always TLC it. We can take the new situation, accept it, go with it, enhance it, live with it. We can leave it. So we can take it or we can leave it. Like my father, no, I do not want involvement with that. I'm going to deny its existence. We leave it. Or we can change it. TLC, we can take it, we can leave it, or we can change it again. Just because something has landed on your lap doesn't mean that we still don't have the ability to tweak it here and there. But that means that we have to be willing to look at it in the first place. And many people just simply do not have the confidence to do so.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times too, when you start looking at, I was just talking to a lovely lady the other day, and she was explaining about, trying to find how to move up in her career at her work.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, kind of dumbfounded of what that really takes. I says, you need to reach out and find others that know more than you do, because there are always people who know more than you do. So go and
Always.
they could be even younger than you. So don't assume just because you're at a certain age or level in your business that you can't learn something from somebody else. I mean, all you have to do nowadays is sit down at the kitchen table with a third grader and try to do their math. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I feel like I'm really old.
For sure. And, but what is confidence? Let's just define that for a minute. Confidence isn't about being successful all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That just breeds complacency. I'm right. I know I'm right. Everything I do will be right. That's not confidence. That's complacency. That's bravado. That doesn't get down to the core of it. Confidence is born when you find a way to get yourself out of trouble and know that you can do it again. If you have a tire on the highway that's flat as a pancake on one side, it doesn't matter how many books you've read, it doesn't matter how many people you've heard speak about it, until you've had to change that tire, you don't really know that you can. But in order for you to test that, you have had to have the flat in the first place. There has to be trouble of some sort, an inconvenience, a necessity for something different before you can begin to realize that you can get yourself out of tight spots, out of difficulty, out of trouble, and that's confidence. When you know you have the inner chutzpah to work your way, to think your way out, to work your way out, to gather a team to help you, to do whatever it is you need to do to solve the situation, that's the beginning of confidence. It has nothing to do with, I'm all that. That's not confidence at all.
Because I see a lot of people struggle, and I love that definition, because I do see people struggle with that. Well, I'm confident, and they don't understand what you just said, right? There's missing hole that they haven't filled yet, because a lot of times they don't even challenge themselves to try to even figure out something new. They just keep doing the same old.
Sure, you get a flat in the highway. Instead of seeing if you can fix it, you call the tow truck. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you had the confidence to say, well, I'm going to try. I have to call the tow truck anyway. I'll call the tow truck, fine, cover my bases. But in the meantime, I'm going to see if I can't do it myself. And if you can't, well, at least you know where you went wrong. Are you not strong enough to lift the new tire up onto the axle? In which case you call out your passenger to help you, or but you find a way. That's confidence. The outer stuff, look at me, that's not confidence. It comes from inner learning and inner trust. Only you can bestow trust upon yourself.
So what do you find is the kind of hardest thing for people to do, the first kind of big step? What should they be doing?
For confidence or reinvention?
Go with both.
Okay. The trick is you need to engage left brain and right brain. Very difficult for some, impossible for others. Easy as cake for somebody else. But you need to look at the logical, rational, reasonable path to follow, which is wonderful. But if it doesn't feel right in your heart, that's no good either. So you have to combine head, heart, and gut to find a path. Then you have to look at the consequences of every step along the way. And the pros and cons of it. We put our rosy colored glasses on when we have an idea. Entrepreneurs are brilliant for this. That's who I'm going to serve. That's who I'm going to get. But we fail to go, okay, if year one ends up using all my savings, what do I do for year two? And so the confidence goes down the old twirly, and you get entrepreneurs that give up after a year because they haven't figured out, they haven't planned enough for what may lie ahead. When you're looking at reinvention, you have to look at all the aspects. If you are the head of a company and your target audience is no longer appreciating your efforts, then you have two choices. You can either change your target audience, or you change the way you're doing business. Or you can close your doors, I suppose. But to continue going on the same way as you're going is not going to lead to anything good. But that means removing the fear factor of looking. The fear factor is there because of the lack of confidence. When you have an inner GPS system, our cars have global positioning systems, but we have GPSs of our own. If we know our goals, that's great. But if we don't know where we're positioned in amongst everyone else, then we can't, and I don't mean compare and contrast, I mean knowledge. Knowledge. Learn what your competition's doing. Learn how you can work with them to create something even better. Stop the fear. And you can stop the fear by understanding that you always have a choice. Always. Even though it doesn't seem like it, we always have a choice. We can choose to remain static and hope that the numbers work themselves out. We can choose to accept the fact that we have to reboot our whole systems and start from square one. Oh, wouldn't that be terrible? Or we can just say, go for it. What have I got to lose? My company's failing anyway. I may as well try. But all of that takes knowledge. You need facts, figures, numbers, knowledge, information, but you have to balance it here or you're not going to be happy. And if you're not happy, you're not going to reinvent yourself. You're
Yeah.
going to stay with what you were happiest at. This is the problem with New Year's resolutions, you know.
Ah,
Is it not the same? Every New Year's Eve, we tell ourselves we're going to reinvent something about ourselves. We're going to lose weight, or we're going to spend more time outside, or we're going to all of these wonderful things. We're going to treat our neighbors better. We're going to treat whatever. Is that not a form of reinvention? We're going to improve. We're going to grow. We're going to reinvent some portion of our life. And what happens a week down the road, a month down the road? We go right back to where we were before. Reinvention requires knocking at the door of our comfort zone and taking one step out. Not too far. If we go out of our bubble into the great netherworld, we're going to drown. We will not be prepared if we don't have information. Learning happens just outside your door, where you still have the comfort of, I can always step back in, but I'd rather see what's going down that path. That's where learning happens, not when you decide to throw baby out with the bathwater, just ladle a little water out. That's the secret of reinvention, is information, attitude, and removal of fear.
fabulous. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
know you have a incredible book that people can grab a hold of.
And it's launching. Remember, I told you about my father's 90th birthday? What do you get a man who turns 90? So I'm launching my book on my dad's 90th birthday. So January 23rd, book 3 in the Confidence series will come out. It's called Confident Reinvention, Personal, Professional, and Corporate Transformation. It deals with the basis of confidence, the basis of confidence to reinvent, and then it goes into a whole bunch of the steps, attitudes, the possibilities to make your reinvention successful. And it's very different across the generations. For young people to reinvent, piece of cake. They have had to deal with reinvention every minute of every day. I mean, our youngest generations were born, I swear, with 2 cords, an electrical cord for all their devices as well as the umbilical cord. They are used to, oh, that was yesterday, this is today, no problem, we'll just roll with the punches. But you take our generations, because we're not in the same generation, and and the further back you go, the harder it is to reinvent, because in years gone by, the status quo was the cherished golden idol. Security was the biggest value people had. That's why people stayed in jobs they hated for the pension check that they knew that they would get. We're not like that anymore. Now, if people stay in a job for 3 years, HR is doing their happy dance.
Right.
So the need to reinvent is a constant now, and our younger people are doing it brilliantly. It's those of us in my generation that are still having a hard time saying, yes, I know that it's changed, but I like it this way. That's complacency. And where does complacency get you? Not able to deal with today.
So, how do they get a hold of your book?
It will be on Amazon. And I don't have the URL yet. That will be coming in a week or so, and I'll blast it out everywhere in the world. But it's available on Amazon, and you can get the other 2 as well. Pitch time. Confident public speaking, confident leadership in the 21st century business, and now the latest confident reinvention. It's all about confidence in all those different areas.
Awesome. So make sure
Yes.
that you look up Rosemarie Barnes on Amazon and grab all of those fabulous books today, and then be on the queue for her next one. Do you have a newsletter or something they can sign up for so they can find out when it's actually launched?
www.confidencestages.com, or you can email me directly at rbarnes, BARNES, at confidencestages.com, and I'll hook you up so fast.
Awesome. So thank you for being on. You were just amazing as always.
As you are, as always, Tonya. Thank you.
And if you want to see Rosemarie in person, she is actually going to be one of our amazing speakers for our London conference, for the Public Speakers Conference for 2019 in June. So you can go to publicspeakers.com. We'd also love to have each one of you go out there and change the world from the front of the room, and go to Association, all spelled out.com, and mention TV show in the coupon code and get half off of membership. Last one thing, talking about reinvention, which is perfect, is I'm launching the High Achieving Women's Club. Yay! And the High Achieving Women's Club is all about a women's initiative program for corporate and government agencies. So if you're looking to do trainings for either corporate or government agencies, or both, and you were like, wow, I would love to actually own a territory for the High Achieving Women's Club, go to highachievingwomen's with an S.com, and you can find out quite a bit of the information on there as we launch that program.
Brilliant.
Alrighty, yay! So everyone, thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time. Bye, Rosemarie. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Tonya. Bye, everyone.